A good day to you. 1968, the Olympics were held in Mexico. What happened in Mexico? As usual, the men's marathon was the last race, and the men's marathon was taking place. 75 men were in this race. 18 of the men had to pull out because of the high altitude. The high altitude made it hard to breathe and causing other men to pull out of the race. Now, after the race had finished, the winner of the race had been crowned, medals had been given. An hour later, after the winner of the race had finished his race, a man is seen going into the arena. John Stephen Aquari. This man is seen limping and struggling as he tries to finish his race. This man got a standing ovations when the fans saw this man struggling. See, what had happened during the race is that during the race there was a great falling, and John got caught in this falling. He got a dislocated knee and a badly bruised shoulder. And after this, the race became more difficult for him, but he did not give in. When asked why he continued to go on this race, he said, "My country did not send me 5,000 miles to start a race, but my country sent me 5,000 miles to finish a race." Ladies and gentlemen, I have a message for you today. The message is, you have come to finish a race. Though you may have started your race well with God, you may have started well, but now there's been a problem. A dislocated knee, a bruised shoulder, some distraction, or something that's keeping you away from God. You might also be facing challenges in life that are also hindering you in life. And I'm here to tell you, you did not come to start the race, but you came to finish it. Now, the verse for today is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. It reads, "Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so a great cloud of witness, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with the patience the race that is set before us." Now, who are the witnesses being mentioned in this verse? Paul, in the previous chapter, he talks about heroes of faith. These people who were not perfect, but when faced with difficult circumstances, they prevailed. Noah, by faith, built an ark and saved his family. By faith, Abraham left his family and went to an unknown land. By faith, Abraham was willing to sacrifice his promised son. By faith, Sarah gave birth at a very old age. These people, though they were not perfect, they stand as witnesses to give us, as we are running our race, they give us motivation. They stand to give us motivation. These people, when faced with evil, when faced with trials and temptations, they conquered. Although they were not perfect, they had their downfalls, but in the end, they are now mentioned as heroes of faith. So they are there to give us a motivation. Now, in the days this verse was written, athletes trained to get in shape, just as we do today. Athletes train to get in the best shape, be it any sport, boxing, football, tennis, the list goes on. When athletes are preparing to entertain and to compete, they get in the best shape, and they do this by doing the right training. Let me ask you, what type of training are you doing in your life? Does your training enable you to finish your race? Does your training enable you to be in the best shape? By the time the race was had started, athletes took off all their weights and they put on some oil. This made the race easier, they felt lighter, and they were in the best condition. Let us leave every sin or everything that hinders us in our relationship with God. John Wilbur Chapman said, "My life is governed by this rule. Anything that dims my vision of Christ or takes away my taste for the Bible study or cramps my prayer life or makes Christian work difficult is wrong for me, and I must, as a Christian, turn away from it." This is the type of mindset we need. Anything that takes away our focus on God should not be in our lives. This mindset will help us in our race. We should take away every sin, every hindrances, anything that keeps our focus away from God. If we look in the Bible, Romans 15 verse 4, it says, "The scriptures were made for us that we may have hope." The scriptures are there to motivate us. Satan comes, or the devil comes, with many distractions to keep us away from God. He comes with many problems and with different means to keep us away from focusing on our God. Carrie Ten Boom is quoted saying, "If you look at the world, you will be distressed. If you look within, you will be depressed. But if you look at God, you'll be at rest." God is there for us in our times of need. When we are struggling, God is there. In our race of life, God is there. 1992 Olympics, another situation occurs. The men's 400-meter race. Everything is normal. The men are racing. Then at the 250 mark, something happens. Derek tears his hamstring and he starts limping. As the whole world is watching, he limps trying to finish his own race. Then a man is seen coming from the crowd and he gets past the officials. This man gives a shoulder to Derek. This man is his father. This man helped Derek to finish the race. The father, seeing his son in pain, struggling to finish his own race, God pushed and helped his son. We also have someone like this in our lives. Whenever we have any problem, whenever we are struggling with our focus on God, we also have someone who's willing to give us a shoulder. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 2. This verse, it reads, "Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God." We have Jesus who is willing to help us in our time of need. We have Jesus who is willing to give us a shoulder. The perfecter, the starter, and the finisher of our faith. Jesus is there to help us. We can look at him whenever we are struggling with our relationship with God. Now there are also those who are struggling. They are with problems, different problems that are in their life. We also can look towards Jesus in this race of our life, who is willing to come down from the crowds, from the stand, to give us a helping hand. God bless you.